So, who are you and what do you do?
My name is Scott Ungchusi, and I like to do an activity called tricking.
And what is tricking?
Glad you asked. Whenever I tell people I like tricking, they think, oh, trick-or-treating or something else, but tricking is it's an alternative underground sports movement that kind of imbues parkour, martial arts, and gymnastics. All are sports which I've done when I was smaller, and hence, that's how I kind of got into tricking. It's because I did all three of those other sports that I mentioned before.
Awesome. How long have you been doing it again?
I've been doing it since high school, and that was quite a long time ago, like 8 years. But I started because I saw Urban Ninja on YouTube and decided that's what I'm gonna be. I just wanted to do flips because it looked cool.
So that was your main reason, because it looked cool?
It looked cool.
Yeah.
I mean, just like performance art, why people appreciate, dance. It's kind of the manipulation of the body, what the human body is capable of, and in this case, doing flips and just that kind of stuff.
Alright, cool. Alright, so from what I've seen of it, it looks like it can be a kind of dangerous thing to do.
Well, that goes for any sport. I guess you can say tricking is a higher risk sport, kind of like how cheerleading is high risk. When you go into tricking, you should expect at some point to get injured. There's ways to prevent this, such as working out normally, eating healthy, stretching, maintaining flexibility. But there will be a point where you just don't perform right and you injure yourself, and you'll have to be ready to wait off a good 4 to 6 months, just recovering. I mean, some people will injure themselves, but it will be a minor injury, so they'll keep tricking. But if they damage that part of their body again, it could be a lifelong injury.
That sounds bad. What about your injuries? How bad have you been injured doing it?
Okay, well, I've sprained both of my wrists, both of my ankles, a lot of internal bruising for falling down on hard surfaces like concrete, some drain damage, but I'm okay overall. My worst injury was probably during sophomore year high school. I was at this orchestra meet, and those things are boring because all you do is you wait for your turn to play your instruments, and in between you just do your homework. So I decided, hey, I'm just gonna do some tricking because it's a great workout and it's better than doing homework. So I was just doing a few flips, and one time I just kind of freaked out. I'm kind of blacked out, and I totally crashed on my face, and there was blood everywhere. It was disgusting, but now I can say that I'm that guy because it's on video.
I see. Do you have any kind of training regimen that you do for it?
In high school, I used to do a whole lot of push-ups, sit-ups, a lot of splits and general flexibility training, because the best way to not get injured is to be very flexible, because it's very easy to land a move funny. Like when you're doing a corkscrew, you're all discombobulated while you're in the middle of doing a few turns. So mostly stretching, but working out is always a good additive to that.
I see. Alright, do you have any inspirational triggers, and why do you like them?
Besides the guys on YouTube, which include Anis Sherfa and Steve Terada, there's also a Thai kickboxer, Tony Jaa, who plays in the movies The Protector and Ong Bak. He's also a tricker. He does all these flashy moves in his movies, which aren't really practical, but they look really awesome. And he's just badass. He has this crazy vertical.
Awesome. What are some favorite tricks of yours?
Favorite tricks? Well, there's some tricks that I know how to do that I like, and there's some that I don't know how to do that I like.
Describe.
Well, the ones that I like and that I know how to do are I have to say, the hyper twists, which is kind of it's similar to a move called the butterfly, which is like a barrel roll. You kind of go sideways and then roll in midair, and then land on the foot that you jumped off of. As for moves that I don't know but really like, corkscrews, double corkscrews, triple corkscrews. I mean, I'm really a fan of the whole barrel rolling. It's kind of cool.
Why is it that you can't do it? Is it that difficult physically?
Well, last time I've tried doing a corkscrew or a double corkscrew, I've always end up either overshooting it or undershooting it. So either way, I land on my face and it hurts. I normally go tricking on golf courses because AstroTurf is great when it comes to not landing moves correctly because it kind of cushions your face. But concrete and other things, urban environments are not conducive to your health, especially if you crash all the time.
I see. Well, how do you feel when you go tricking? Is it some sort of like amazing feeling high or something? Like a lot of people think that a lot of sports are like that for them.
I don't really get high unless I'm jumping off a building. But then again, I don't do that all too much because tricking is kind of frowned upon in crowded areas like malls, schools, places with lots of bicycle cops. I used to make ninja movies with my friends, so I did a whole bunch of tricking moves and jumping from building to building for these high school ninja movies. And where I live, there's a whole bunch of bicycle cops, so every time they see someone doing something weird near the malls, they rush in bunches of like 50 and they point their tasers and be like, get down, what are you doing, what is that, you think that's Kung Fu, it's a ninja, and then you get arrested, which has luckily not happened to me, well, at least not for tricking, but yeah, it's not fun to do in front of law enforcement.
I see. Cool. Well, are there any special spots that you like to trick on or anything?
All my favorite spots are now covered up. They're now parking lots. They're now freshman dorms. They're now things that I don't normally trick on. I used to trick on the golf course that used to be adjacent to UTD, but it's no longer a golf course. The area in front of the conference center used to be a nice grassy area, but now it's a parking lot.
I see. Okay. Are there any like really practical uses for tricking? It sounds like a lot of people don't like it, but it could be used for a lot of different things, right?
Yes. It's a great workout on top of everything else. Well, I mean, it looks cool, and that's why I do it. As far as how practical it is, I only do it for getting out there, staying physical, kind of stuff.
What about professionally? People can do it for professional things, right? Like you said.
Sure. People do it for all sorts of reasons, for film, for games. It's actually a pretty big thing to take tricking and applying it to a motion capture animation, which they do for film and games. I have done a few flips and whatnot for some motion capture animations that I do for class, and other people have been called in who know how to do flips to do something similar, like the Tap Brothers, who are local in Dallas. They're free runners that run around in Dallas area. They sometimes practice at UTD, sometime at I think UT Southwestern, but they practice in a whole bunch of different places.
I see, cool. Well, do you have any advice for the newbies who are just starting out doing their tricking, things like that?
they should not get too far ahead of themselves. Make sure you stretch before you start tricking. I mean, better be safe than sorry. It's high risk, high rewards kind of sports because it feels good when you can land something that's extremely hard. And yeah, don't trick in front of cops.
Alright, I see. Cool. Well, thank you.
And thank you.
Alright. Thanks, Scott.